Welcome to my channel. So today's video is going to be about student aid that you can receive in Canada. So when we are talking about student aid, we're usually talking about financial help. Now, financial help comes in two different ways. One is through loans and the other one is through grants. Loans are basically money that you have to pay back eventually, and grants are money that under normal circumstances you do not have to pay back. When you sign the application for student aid, you are signing a contract saying that based on your current situation, you will receive funding. So if your current situation changes, so will your funding. So grants are usually free, and the condition is that you keep your status as a student, or you keep what you promised when you signed the application. So when you sign the application, you say that you are a full-time student with 5 credits, then that must be true throughout the year. Now, if you drop one course, maybe go down to 4.5 credits, if you're still a full-time student, it doesn't really matter. What happens is if you become a part-time student, or if you just drop out completely, then you are no longer eligible for the grant that you have already received. In this case, the government will be able to put your grant into your loan. When it comes to loans, there are two kinds of loans, federal and provincial. So whenever you apply for a student loan, you're essentially applying for both Canada student loan and your provincial student loan. Federal grants are given to you by the federal government, and the provincial grant is given to you by the provincial government. To be able to get student loans or grants, you must first demonstrate your financial needs. So what that means is the amount of money that you have, or the amount of money that you have earned, is less than the amount that you will be expending throughout the duration of your studies. Permanent disabilities are also called PDs. So if you have a PD that is proven by a physician, then you might qualify for some additional loans or grants. For example, if a PD student has some kind of financial need, maybe they need a tutor or they need a laptop, then as long as they can prove and justify that expenditure, they might be able to get some additional grants and loans for them to be able to afford that kind of equipment. Some provinces will give you more grants than the other. For example, if you're applying in Alberta, you might be able to get more grants than you would if you were applying in Ontario. Another thing that's really important in the application process is designation. So what designation means is whether the school is allowed to receive funding. In most cases, Canadian universities or Canadian post-secondary institutions are designated, but there are some cases where certain universities or certain institutions are not designated. It's always a good idea to check if your university or the place you're attending is designated to receive funds before you apply. On the other hand, if you're thinking of applying to an international school, if you're applying to some school in the US, or if you're applying for some school in Australia or Germany, then sometimes those institutions might not be covered. Now, one thing that's universal is the MSFAA, which stands for Master Student Financial Assistance Agreement. This is basically an IOU with the government. When you receive the MSFAA, you will also be prompted to input your banking information. They do this because it's easier to deposit the money into your bank account rather than giving you a check. When you submit your banking information, you're consenting to two things. One is that you're consenting that they put money into your account through automatic deposit. The second thing that you are consenting, which some people might not know, is that you are giving them permission to take the money out of that account when it's time for you to make payments towards your loans. This information can be changed later on through your National Student Loan Service Center account, but that's up to you. In my opinion, I believe it's in your best interest to send in your banking information because that's the fastest way you can get your funding. If you choose not to submit your banking information, that's fine, but you just have to take into consideration the time it takes for them to issue a check and the time it takes for Canada Post to deliver that check to your house. Another thing is that Canada Post sometimes will lose the check that's given to you, and if that happens to you, you basically have to call National Student Loan Service Center again and have them disperse that check again, which will take another 2 to 3 weeks. Another thing that's very important is the confirmation of enrollment, which is called COE. Now, you need the confirmation of enrollment to be able to get any kind of student funding, whether it be grants or loans. Without the COE, the National Student Loan Service Center will not be able to disperse your loans or grants on time. So it's best to always nag your school, call the office of registrar, or call some camp counselor to have them send the confirmation of enrollment, because the sooner they do it, the faster you'll be able to get your loans. Sometimes the schools will not do any kind of confirmation of enrollment before a certain date. So for example, if you're starting in September, chances are you won't be able to get any kind of confirmation of enrollment done in August. You probably have to wait until late August. This marks the end of our video. So if you guys found this helpful at all regarding your student aid applications in September, definitely give it a like. If you have any questions, put in the comments. If you have any video ideas, put in the comments as well. And if you want to learn more about this, definitely subscribe. I will be posting more videos regarding student loan applications and just general information about student life.